University, Arts and Commerce, Tripura University, Professor Sukanto Bonik, Dean of Science, Tripura University, Mr. Sanjeev Dev, Film Director, Professor A. Gupta, Filmmaker, Professor Sukendhu Dev, Head Department of Kokborok, Tripura University, and of course, Sunil Goloi, the Director of this film, and Mr. Dhananjoy Dev, Director, Tribal Research, faculty members, guests, students. It's indeed an honor to be here. Of course, you must be impatient. You have come to see a movie and you have been bombarded by speeches. So I'll keep mine very short. I always tell everywhere I go to be the chief guest is very difficult. I don't know what tradition in India where the chief guest has to speak last. And of course the least. Last and least. So I'll keep it very short, but I'm overwhelmed that I'm here today. And folk tale is not very new to me. I remember way back in 85, 86, I was working with a cultural organization. And at that time I had worked with folk tales with the late Kwthang Awai. We had collected a lot of cocktails and folk tales and we had studied them. They were wonderful stories. They were wonderful stories. Because I believe this, the Rajmala is our heritage. The Rajmala too is oral tradition, very much like the folk tales. Many of you may know, the Rajmala was kept orally by the Rajchantais of Tripura. During the era of Dandamanikal, in the 16th century, two scholars, Banashar and Sukreshwar, were called, and the Rajchantai narrated the story of the kings to these two scholars, and they put it down in writing in Sanskrit and named the book Rajratnakaram, which was later translated into Bengali by Prahlad Chandra Singh and made Rajmala. So all our traditions here, indigenous traditions, are oral traditions. In India also we say that Shruti and Smriti are very important to hear and to memorize. That is the tradition all over India also, here also. And the folk tales, I strongly believe, the folk tales occupy a special place in our society, especially the indigenous people. The Rajmala is the Chronicle of Kings. Rajmala is known as the Chronicles of Kings. It is our heritage. While in the folk tales, we find the history of the people. In folk tales, we find the history of the people, and it is important, as important as the Rajmala, to discover the history of the people also. The word folk is defined as a community which shares common tradition. And I think the first, I said I did folk tales in 85, 86, long time back. If my memory serves me right. There was a gentleman named William John Thomas. And I think in 1836 or 46, he coined the word folk tales. And since then, there has been a lot of stress on folk tales. And later on, in the 19th century, there was a German philosopher named Herder, if my memory serves me right. When I was doing folk tales, I learned these things. Just like you all are learning now, I also was learning that time. There was a German philosopher named Herder. And he collected all the folk tales of Germany, all the folklores, all the folk poetry, folk songs. And from that, he recovered a lot of German national history. This philosopher named Herder, he collected folk tales, folklore, folk poetry, folk songs, and from that, he traced back many national history of this country. And it was since then the people started recognizing the importance of folk tales. And the folk tales are the basis of history. The folk tales is the basis of common history. As I said, the people's history, which is more important, more democratic, more required to move ahead. And as we move ahead, moving ahead is adding to the wealth. It is not leaving behind wealth and creating new wealth. If that was so, we would always be in zero. Civilization would have been in zero. Progress means keeping the old, adding the new, so that the wealth of the society increases. That is progress. If one society leaves back whatever is old and only comes to new, and the next society does the same, there will be no progress. So as we move along to progress, to modernity, we must take along with us our heritage, our history, our language, our ways of life adapted to modern ways. Modern mind does not discard anything. There is the tendency, "Arey, hum modern hai, to chhodiye pishle ke baad." That is not the thinking of a modern mind. A modern mind is a mind that accepts the past, fits it into the present, and takes it to the future. That is a modern mind that accepts the past, fits it into the present, and carries it to the future, and hands it over to the next generation to add something to it. That is what is wealth creation in every field. And I was very happy when Sunil came and invited me. Because I always think, and I always tell young people, especially people of the indigenous people of Tripura, I always tell them that we build hospitals, we build roads. Those are assets, developmental assets, infrastructural assets. Those are must required. But even more what is required is cultural asset. So these are permanent assets. Cultural assets are permanent assets. Hospital roads are very much required for society. We cannot move ahead without schools, hospitals, health, roads, connectivity. But there is something above that, which is somewhat eternal. That is the cultural assets. And today, I find a cultural asset is being built through this movement. I find a cultural asset is being built in a new medium, where was folk tales, oral tradition, and today it has been translated into a movie, put into a movie, put into a film, it's being filmed. That is what we call additional wealth. We have kept the old, the stories are old, timeless story, and we have adapted to a new medium, which is the film medium. And that is how progress has to go on in society. And I always tell the young people also, what is the energy of a society? Everything requires energy to move. They are professors of chemistry, physics, better than they know this better than me. Anything to move, to live requires energy. So the energy of the society is its culture. More vibrant the culture, more vibrant the society. More rich the culture, more strengthened the society will be. That is the engine of the society, culture. And in our Indian way of life, we don't say culture, we say Sanskriti. Culture is a word that is derived from another word known as cult. Sanskriti is a word that is derived from sanskar, our traditions, our values, our ways of thinking, our ways of living, all put together form Sanskriti. And in India, there is not much difference between science and culture, because we believe that everything is scientific. And there's so much to learn from these stories. Timeless truths are told us in simple manner. We complicate things. As we get more educated, we try to complicate things. Truth is always simple. Whether you like it or not, truth is not complicated. Truth is very simple. And these folk tales put that truth in the right perspective. One of my favorite folk tales happens to be here. I can't watch it because it's getting late. I have to go run. I'm the finance minister looking after finances. It becomes very tedious for me sometimes. I also like to have a break. But March is not the time to take a break. All my journalist friends are here. They will question me on the budget. So I'm preparing for them. So that is Nwai is one of my favorite folk tales. It's a story of oppression by a stepmother on the stepdaughters. And how one girl, one of the sisters, gathers feathers of the Nwai bird, stitches, a wing for herself and flies off to be liberated from oppression. To be liberated from oppression. How simply it is being told. Through the stories of two sisters and one stepmother. It doesn't require great, political thinking. But here it is, the human hearts longing for freedom, longing to be free from oppression. That is what the Nwai bird is about, simply told, lovely depicted, so that everyone can understand. A truth told in a truthful way. A universal truth told in the truthful way. This girl, waits days and days, and the bird's feathers, she stitches the wing for herself and flies off. One of the girl's sisters. This is the Nwai. So these are universal truths which are timeless, boundless, applicable to every society. So people of Tripura should be happy. I was a long time, it does not matter. We are all from Tripura, and we should be happy that these stories have sprung up from the minds of our people, from the soil of our people. So these folk tales are oral traditions. It's the storehouse of the people's history of Tripura, of people's traditions. And these need to be explored, need to be taken forward, like Sunil has done, which were only oral traditions are today being filmed. And I would ask Mr. Varama to see that these are screened in villages. He's also with me Panchayat, I think. So he has double responsibility. As Director, Tribal Research and Panchayat, I tell him here only in front of you. But see that these are not canned films, canned put in cans. As is old saying, book in shelves do nothing. Because I remember Swami Vivekananda once said, donkeys may carry whole libraries on their backs, but it does not make them wiser. Swami Vivekananda had once said, donkeys may carry the whole library on their backs, but it does not make them wiser. So these films are made. It's a pioneering effort. It should be appreciated throughout India, I feel, and abroad also. And there was a filmmaker speaking here. Very nice to hear him. He'll be happy to know that in the month of March we are planning to have a national science film festival in Tripura. Which is the first time in Tripura, and I happen to be the science and technology minister. It was a very brave step taken by us, because our infrastructure is not very good yet, but we have said why not? Because progress only comes when we face challenges. This is a challenge that we have taken up. And I would ask these young boys and girls here to look into, not only look at things. Looking at things is not education. Looking into things is education. Let us not only look at things. When we look into things, we will enrich ourselves, we will be able to enrich our society, enrich our state, and enrich our nation. And I am very grateful to Sunil that he invited me here to meet such lovely people. And I am doubly grateful to him that he cut the program short. So it is nice to be here. We'll see you again on some other occasion. I thank the Vice Chancellor that I have been here in the university. It's always an experience to talk to young minds. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again. Thank you.